In this video, we're going to see how we can use Microsoft Excel to test whether or not population averages are equal across two separate populations. Now, to illustrate this, let's consider an example of male and female wages in the population. So we're going to treat male wages as one population, and we'll define male wages as X, and we'll define female wages as the second population, and we'll define female wages as Y. Now, if we wanted to test the hypothesis that average male wages was equal to average female wages, that would be equivalent to writing down a null hypothesis that the expected value of X is equal to the expected value of Y, against the alternative hypothesis that the expected value of X is not equal to the expected value of Y. Now, we don't know what E of X or E of Y are, but we can estimate them. We know that X bar is an estimator of E of X, and if the observations are randomly drawn from the population, then X bar is an unbiased estimator of E of X, and Y bar is an estimator of E of Y. Now, when we carry out a test, whether in Excel or whether we do this manually ourselves, we need to have a way of evaluating this null hypothesis. Now, it's probably easier to try and get all of the things that we're estimating on one side of the equation and a number on the other side of the equation. So we can rewrite this null hypothesis to be written as the difference in the expectation, so expectation of X minus expectation of Y, is equal to 0. All that we've done is we've subtracted the expectation of Y from both the left and the right-hand side, and this hypothesis that we've written down is equivalent to the original null hypothesis. And similarly, the alternative hypothesis that the expectation of X minus the expectation of Y is not equal to 0 is just equivalent to the population averages being different. So we can estimate this difference using the difference of the sample means. So X bar minus Y bar is going to be our estimator for E of X minus E of Y. Now, it's possible to show that if our sample size is large enough, then X bar minus Y bar will be approximately normally distributed, and it will be centered on the expectation of X minus the expectation of Y, and we need to know what the variance of this difference is going to be equal to. Well, the variance is going to be relatively easy to construct if we make one assumption, and that is that the two samples, the male sample and the female sample, are independently drawn from each other. So in other words, if we know the observation of the first male's wages, it tells us nothing about the observation of the first female wages, for instance. So we have the variance of a linear combination of random variables here. X bar and Y bar are both random variables. When we've got a linear combination, we take the variance of each of the terms, and then we find the covariance terms as well. So this is going to be equal to the variance of X bar plus the variance of Y bar, and then we've got two lots of the covariance between X bar and minus Y bar, but because we've got that minus Y bar, this becomes minus two lots of the covariance between X bar and Y bar. Now, we've assumed that the two samples are independent from each other, And if that's true, then the covariance between the sample means is going to be equal to 0. So we can just get rid of that term. In addition, if the observations are independently and identically drawn from the distribution, then the variance of x bar is just equal to the variance of x over n, where n is the number of males in the sample, plus the variance of y over m, where m is the number of females in the sample. Now, the last thing to note is we probably don't know what the variance of x and the variance of y are, so we would need to estimate them. And s squared for x is just going to be equal to 1 over n minus 1, so 1 over the number of males minus 1, times by the sum of the xi minus x bar squared, where xi is the observation of the ith male. And similarly, s squared y is going to be equal to 1 over m minus 1 times by the sum of the y minus y bar squareds, where again yi is the observed wages of the ith female worker. Now, the question is, how do we do all of this in Microsoft Excel? The easiest way to approach this in Microsoft Excel is to use the Data Analysis Toolpack. Now, when you install Microsoft Excel, the Data Analysis Toolpack is probably not activated. I'm using Microsoft Excel on Windows, and we can install the Analysis Toolpack using the following steps. First of all, go to the File menu and scroll down to Options. Within the options, you're looking for add-ins. And if you click on add-ins, you will see it right at the bottom here. There is something called Manage Excel Add-ins. We're going to click Go on that, and we're going to select the Analysis Toolpack, and for completeness, the Analysis Toolpack VBA as well. If you click OK, if we're on the Data tab, you notice that a new button appears called Data Analysis. And this is going to allow us to do lots of interesting data analysis using Microsoft Excel. Now, the data we're going to be using here is a random sample of 150 male weekly earnings for full-time male workers and 250 female weekly earnings, again for full-time female workers. And we could calculate our t-test of equality of means manually, but actually we want to use this in an automated way. So we're going to use the Data Analysis button, and we're going to look for a t-test for two samples assuming unequal variances. So we're allowing the variance of male and female earnings to be different. This might be a very good assumption. It's a very general assumption because we're allowing for the possibility that perhaps there's a much bigger spread in male earnings, or maybe there's a much bigger spread in female earnings. We don't necessarily have a prior of this, so we can assume that the variances are unequal. Now, in order to carry out this, we're going to have to specify our two samples. So our variable one range, our X range as you might want to label it, is the male weekly earnings. So we'll select the 150 observations of the male weekly earnings, which, as you can see, line cell A1 to A151. That very first cell was actually the label, so we need to select labels here just to make sure that Excel knows that that first observation is actually the label for the variable. And then similarly, variable 2 range, we're going to select our data. It lies in cells B1 to B251, and again, cell B1, that is our label. We're leaving this hypothesized mean difference blank. The default here is 0, and if we click OK, it creates a new sheet with our results included. Now, what do each of these numbers mean? Well, the first thing to note is we get our sample mean for male workers and the sample mean for female workers. So our X bar here
is equal to 668.2266667, and our y bar is equal to 569.032. And you can calculate the difference between these two, which is approximately 99. We've also got estimates of the variance of male weekly earnings and female weekly earnings. S squared x is equal to 109,998.3778. And similarly, the estimated variance of female earnings is equal to 101,239.8142. Now, we don't actually need to do any calculations ourselves because Excel will do this for us. It automatically constructs a t-statistic based on our data. And the t-statistic that it calculates is equal to the difference of our two sample means minus our hypothesized value, so the hypothesized difference is equal to 0, divided through by the estimated standard error of x bar minus y bar, which we saw before is going to be equal to s squared x over the number of observations of males, plus s squared y over the number of observations of females. Now we can calculate this t-statistic in Excel using the data that we have here. So let's start off by calculating the difference in means. The difference in means is just going to be equal to x bar minus y bar, or 668.2266667 minus 569.032. That gives us a difference in means of 99.19. The estimated variance of the x bar, let's just call that x bar here, is going to be equal to the estimated variance of male weekly earnings divided by the number of observations of male weekly earnings, which gives us an estimated variance of 733.322. We've got an estimated variance of y bar, which is going to be equal to the estimated female weekly earnings divided by the number of female observations, which is 250, giving us an estimated variance of 404.96. And then we can construct the estimated variance of x bar minus y bar by just adding these two variances together. To get the t-statistic, all we do is we divide our difference in means by the square root of that estimated variance, or the square root of 1138.28, and that gives us our t-statistic equal to 2.94. Now, Excel also creates a range of extra information related to that t-statistic. The really important information for most tests is going to be the critical value for the two-tailed t-test. In this case, this is the critical value at the 5% significance level with 304 degrees of freedom, which is equal to 1.9677. So this is our critical value. Because our t-statistic is much larger than that critical value, we would reject the null hypothesis that average wages are the same for males and females. There's also a p-value presented here, and the p-value is the probability of getting to a t-statistic at least as large as 2.94 if the null hypothesis is true. So this is equal to the probability that you get a magnitude of a t-statistic greater than or equal to 2.94 if the null hypothesis is true. And this probability is very small here. It's equal to 0.0035. So 0.35% of the time you would randomly get a t-statistic greater than 2.94. Again, the rule of thumb that we normally use as economists is that we look for significance at either the 1% or the 5% significance level. If the p-value is less than 0.01, then the test statistic that we got is significant at the 1% significance level. Now, the last thing you might be wondering about is, how were the degrees of freedom calculated? Well, these degrees of freedom were calculated using the Welch-Satterthwaite degrees of freedom. Now, this is something to watch out for when you're allowing the variances of the two populations to be different. Whenever you're allowing those two variances to be different, you need to appeal to the Welch-Satterthwaite degrees of freedom, because otherwise you'll end up with an incorrect critical value. In this video, we've seen how we can use Microsoft Excel to test the hypothesis that averages are different across two separate populations. In this case, we tested that average wages were the same for male and female full-time workers, and we rejected that null hypothesis, indicating that there's a significant difference between male and female workers' wages on average. Now, the test that we used allowed for the variances of male and female wages to be different. If you know that the variances of the two populations are the same, then you could have used a different test, and in Excel this would be a t-test, or two-sample assuming equal variances. But if you're in any doubt, always use the most general test, always use the test that allows for the variances to be different.